Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of MVK Career Coach Career Q&A. Every single day we receive questions about careers, AI, SAP, IT jobs, Dubai opportunities, interviews, salaries, career gaps and much more. Today I am asking those questions on your behalf to one of the most experienced technology leaders in the Gulf with over 28 years of leadership experience, including roles as CTO, director at EY, and leading major digital transformation initiatives across the UAE and Middle East. Please welcome MVK.
Thank you, Suneetha. I'm really excited to be here. If my experience can help aspiring professionals and career seekers make better career decisions and avoid common mistakes, then that's exactly why this podcast exists. So, let's get started.
My first question comes from so many young viewers who have just finished their degree. One student wrote to us saying, I completed my graduation 8 months ago, but I still don't have a single job offer. And every day at home, the pressure is increasing. He said his confidence is slowly breaking. So, my question to you is this: for a fresher who has just left college with zero work experience, what should be the very first step? Should they focus on applying to as many companies as possible? Or should they first spend time building one strong skill? And how do you tell a young person who is feeling that they are already falling behind their friends that it is still not too late for them?
Thank you for this question. And please tell that young man something from me first. You are not behind. You are just early in a long journey, and 8 months feels like forever only because the pressure is loud. Here is the truth after 25 years of watching careers. For a fresher with zero experience, do not spray hundreds of applications and pray. That is the fastest way to lose confidence. Instead, pick one marketable skill that the market is actually paying for and go deep for 90 days until you can do a real task, not just talk about it. Build 2 or 3 small projects that prove it. Only then start applying, but apply with focus. 20 good, tailored applications beat 200 copy-paste ones. And to that young person feeling they are falling behind their friends, careers are not a race that ends at 22. They are a marathon that rewards the ones still standing at 40. The friend who got a job first is not automatically ahead for life. Your job right now is not to catch up, it is to become undeniable. Do that, and the offers will come.
This next question is one I hear again and again, and I think it breaks many hearts. A young graduate said, every job I apply for asks for 2 or 3 years of experience. But how can I get experience if no one gives me my first job? It feels like a locked door with no key. So I want to ask you directly, for a fresher who is caught in this experience trap, what are the real practical ways to break that cycle? Can internships, small projects, freelancing, or even unpaid work count as experience? And when they finally sit in front of an interviewer with no formal experience, how should they talk about themselves so that the lack of experience does not become the only thing the interviewer sees?
This experience trap is real, but let me break the illusion for you. Experience does not mean a company gave you a salary. It means you can solve the problem they are paying for. So, the way out of the trap is to manufacture your own experience. Do unpaid or low paid internships, freelance a few small gigs, volunteer your skill for an NGO or a local business, contribute to open work, or build realistic projects that mimic actual company tasks. Every one of these is legitimate experience you can put on your resume and speak about with confidence. When you finally sit in that interview with no formal job history, do not apologize for it. Instead, redirect, talk about a specific problem you solved. the steps you took, and the result you produced. Interviewers do not fall in love with your years. They fall in love with your ability to make their life easier. One candidate who says, "Here is a problem I solved and how," will always beat one who just says, "Give me a chance, I am a fresher." Prove value first, and the closed door quietly opens.
I want to ask you about something almost every job seeker struggles with, the resume. One viewer told me, I have sent my resume to more than 100 companies and I never even get a reply, not even a rejection, just silence. It makes people feel invisible. So, my question is, what is actually going wrong with most freshers' resumes? Is it the format, the wording, or is it that these resumes are never even reaching a human because of the automatic screening systems companies use today? Can you explain in a simple way that any ordinary person can follow how someone should build a resume that actually gets noticed, and what are the small mistakes that quietly send a resume straight into the rejection pile?
If 100 resumes got silence, the problem is almost never that you are worthless. It is that your resume is invisible to the machine and boring to the human. Today, most companies use automatic screening software that scans for the exact keywords in the job description. So, mistake number one is sending the same resume everywhere. You must tailor each resume to mirror the language of that specific job. Mistake number two is writing duties instead of results. Responsible for reports says nothing, but built a report that cut processing time by 30% makes them stop. Keep it clean, 1 or 2 pages, simple format the software can read, no fancy graphics that confuse the scanner. Put your strongest, most relevant achievement in the top third because that is all a busy recruiter reads before deciding. And the quiet killers that send a resume to the reject pile. Spelling errors, a vague objective line, no numbers, and a generic profile that could belong to anyone. Fix those, tailor for each role, lead with results, and suddenly the same person who got silence starts getting calls.
Let me ask you about a fear that keeps many people from even trying. A viewer wrote, I studied in a Telugu medium school and my English is very weak. I feel that no good company will ever hire someone like me, no matter how hard I work. This really touched me because I know how many capable people carry this silent shame about their English. So, my question is, in today's job market, how important is English really? And is it true that without fluent English, a person cannot build a good career? For someone who is strong in their skills but weak in English, what is a realistic plan to improve? And how can they stop this one weakness from making them feel small in every interview?
That pounding heart is not a sign that you are weak, it is a sign that you care. The fear rarely comes from a lack of knowledge, it comes from feeling judged, from treating the interview as an exam where one wrong answer means you are exposed. So, the first shift is mindset. An interview is not an interrogation, it is a conversation between two people checking if they fit. Prepare so thoroughly that your knowledge becomes reflex. Rehearse your answers out loud, record yourself, do mock interviews with a friend until the words stop shaking. Preparation is what turns fear into calm. Now, the moment you dread, a question you simply do not know, do not freeze and do not bluff, because interviewers can smell a bluff instantly. The smartest, most honest move is to say, I haven't worked with that directly, but here is how I would approach it, and then reason out loud. That single sentence shows humility, honesty, and problem solving all at once, which is often more impressive than a memorized answer. They are not hiring a person who knows everything. They are hiring a person they can trust when things go wrong.
Interviews are where so many talented people freeze, and I really want your guidance here. A viewer shared something very honest with us. She said, I know my subject well, but the moment I enter the interview room, my heart starts pounding, my mind goes blank, and I forget even simple answers. I am sure thousands of people feel exactly the same way. So, my question to you is, where does this interview fear really come from? And is it about knowledge or about mindset? What is a practical way for someone to prepare so that they walk into that room calm and confident? And if in the middle of an interview they get a question they simply do not know, what is the smartest and most honest way to handle that moment instead of panicking?
Let me say this clearly to every person carrying shame about their English. Your English is a skill you have not built yet, not a measure of your intelligence or your worth. English matters because it is the working language of many good companies and it opens doors. I will not lie to you about that, but it is a learnable skill, exactly like riding a bicycle. And no employer expects poetry. They expect you to communicate clearly. So here is the plan. Stop trying to sound perfect and start using it daily, badly at first. Read aloud 15 minutes a day. Watch content in English with subtitles. Speak to yourself in English while doing chores. Find one partner to practice with weekly. In 6 months of daily practice, you will be shocked at the change. And for the interview, remember, your technical skill can carry a weak accent, but your silence carries nothing. Speak simply in short, clear sentences. That is enough. Do not let one unfinished skill make you shrink and hide the real value you have. Build the English steadily and stop apologizing for where you started.